Today seems like a day of reckoning for Sean Puffy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Brother Love, a.k.a. the many other monikers he has. By the way, here my man Ray. Yo, Raymond!
Yo, check your phone. Tori made me send you a voice note.
Oh, word?
Yeah, play it on stream.
Okay. You know, my man Tori always checking in. That's my boy. Tori's my boy. All right, real quick before we get into Diddy, you got 50 more seconds. 50 more seconds, okay? My man Tory, if you don't know, big honcho in the jail. You feel me? My boy is really, he's keeping his head up high, taking his time. You know, of course, he's fighting for appeal. He's maintaining his innocence, but right now he's locked up. He just dropped a project. It's called Alone at Prom. Okay, the deluxe version. By the way, Alone at Prom, if you ask me, was one of the classic nostalgic albums. I thought he did it's like an 80s rendition. I thought he did it amazingly. He dropped a deluxe version. I think there's about like 7 or so new songs. We're going to get into that, okay? Apparently he sent me a voice note. Let me play it. I've never heard it before. That's why Ray called me. Let me play it on stream.
Hey, yo, Act, my nigga. Much love to you, bro. I just want to let you know, my nigga.
Wait, my bad.
Already, dog. Appreciate you listening.
Here we go.
Hey, yo, Act, my nigga. Much love to you, bro. I just want to let you know, my nigga. You don't know how the things stay already, dog. I appreciate you listening to my shit, nigga, and always just supporting the nigga when my shit come out, bro. That shit mean the world to me, my nigga. So just keep on going, keep on rocking, my nigga, and keep that shit going, bro. You already know niggas got enough love for you, dog. You done know.
Yo, salute to my boy Tory, man. Listen, chat. We will not get off stream before we rock out to at least a few tracks off that Tory Lanez Alone at Prom Deluxe. We really got about 2 big topics, and that's gonna kind of consume the majority of the time. I just didn't want to start YouTube too late. We played the Drake stuff, but there's much other albums that came out today. So remember, the OTF, their group album came out. By the way, I did an interview with the entire OTF fam, minus Dirk. That's gonna probably drop tomorrow. Okay, so you'll see an interview with me and all of them. Duty Low, THF Zoo, like all of them were there. What else? And of course, Tory Lanez, his deluxe Alone at Prom is out now. So please, if you guys are into music, or you're one of those people who goes to listen to music as soon as midnight happens, please go check those out. Let me get into some bullshit real quick, and then we're gonna go check it out collectively. But first and foremost, chat, today, and I got a little bit of warning because there was like these little teaser emails like coming to me. I don't know how people got my email address like this, but every time there's about to be the tea, they send me some shit, and I'm always wondering who the fuck is leaking all this shit. Now, I usually think sometimes it's bullshit because sometimes people will just send whatever, but I seen some stuff about Diddy, and they were basically saying brace yourself, some shit's about to happen. And lo and behold, the New York Times drops a bombshell. And I probably got to take off ad blocker for this one. Pause on this site. Okay. Now, we're going to read this article. Then I have the entire lawsuit we're going to get into. Now, it says that Sean Combs accused, by the way, I think he legally did change his name to Brother Love. I don't know why they refused to call him Brother Love. Apparently on his license it says Brother Love. So legally his name is Brother Love. Sean Combs, a.k.a. Brother Love, is accused by Cassie of rape and years of abuse in a lawsuit. In the suit, the singer says Mr. Combs, known as Puff Daddy or Diddy, subjected her to a pattern of control abuse over a decade. Combs obviously vehemently denies these allegations. Now, I wouldn't be someone, and no matter what you think, first of all, me and Diddy, just to be clear, we got no beef, right? We zero have no beef, right? If he feels some type of way about me, I've always said niggas got to deal with that with the Lord, okay? I don't have a problem with him, but I can see why he may not see eye to eye with me based on stuff I've said about his side chick. I get it, okay? That is what it is. But beyond that, I have no issue with them. I have no biasness, so I'm going to be calling this pretty fairly, or I'm going to try to. Now, first and foremost, before I get into this, this is a civil suit, which means this is for money. Because, and there is an open investigation. We don't know if it has to do with this. But if we're finding out this, like, pretty much, what's this, like almost 7 years later or 6 years later, some of these things you're hearing, number one, may not all be true, may also be exaggerated, or may just be fabricated in order to try to get someone to pay up before it gets to this point where it's now released to the media. Okay? A civil suit, like if somebody killed you, you don't just go sue them for money. You get them to go to jail. That's how it kind of happens. None of that, at least the jail part that we know of, kind of happened. We don't know if this, again, I'm going to show you later. There's a TMZ article that says the New York Police Department is actually investigating Diddy for some sexual assault allegations, but it's like some secret document. They don't know what it has to do with. Don't know if it has to do with Cassie. So I have to say that because I know a lot of times the allegation and accusation is louder than the retraction, and it's usually puts anybody, especially black men, in a position where even if people are lying on you, nobody cares about you clearing your name because they love the salacious fuckery. So let me put that out as a disclaimer. However, we're going to get into some of the salacious fuckery. All right? Here it is. So, let me see. Let me check this out. Give me 1 second. Okay. So it says Sean Combs, the producer mogul who has been one of the most famous names in hip-hop for decades, was sued in federal court on Thursday by Cassie, an R&B singer once signed to his label who has accused him of rape and repeated physical violence or abuse over about a decade. In the suit filed in federal district court in Manhattan, she, whose name is real name, Cassandra Ventura, who had been been Mr. Combs' romantic partner for a long time, says that not long after she met him in 2005, okay, so let's think about these dates, she met him when she was 19. God damn, yo, Diddy worse than motherfucking Leonardo DiCaprio. Don't Leo wait till they 21? Diddy was catching him at 19, man. God damn. Not long after she met him in 2005, when she was 19, he began a pattern of control and abuse that included plying her with drugs, beating her, and forcing her to have sex with a succession of male prostitutes while he filmed the encounters. So essentially, they're saying Diddy was like the original sneaker. Okay, he must be on that cuck shit. He was allegedly forcing her to have sex with random men while he filmed. That's odd, okay? In 2018, the suit says, near the end of their relationship, damn, they had pretty much a 13-year relationship. Damn, that's a long time. Near the end of their relationship, Mr. Combs forced his way into her home and raped her. Wow. After years in silence and in darkness, Ms. Ventura said in a statement, I am ready to tell my story and speak up on behalf of myself for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationship. In a response, a lawyer for Mr. Combs, Ben Braffman, this name sounds familiar, this is a high-powered lawyer right here, says Mr. Combs vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. For the last 6 months, he's been subjected to Ms. Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about the relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail. Despite withdrawing her initial threat, she has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday. The lawyer for Cassie says the parties had spoken before the lawsuits were filed, and he offered her 8 figures to silence her. Damn, that means over $10 million, and prevent the filing of the lawsuit. She rejected his efforts. I'm going to use some critical thinking as I'm reading along here, chat, so bear with me. You're suing for $30 million, but before you even filed the lawsuit, he offered you at least 10, and at least how this is said, you rejected his efforts, like maybe you're trying to stand on business, like, yo, fuck the money, it's more about what you did to me, but there is a money amount on what you want for what he did to you. So clearly, like, did he probably offer maybe 10 to 15 million? She wanted 30. Hey, it is what it is. Cassie's case is the latest in a series of sexual assault civil lawsuits filed recently against prominent men in the industry, including against Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, the executive L.A. Reid, and Neil Portnow, the former head of the organization behind the Grammy Awards. Mr. Portnow has denied the accusation. Mr. Tyler and Mr. Reed have not responded. Combs, who's now 54, founded Bad Boy in 1993, became one of the primary blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. This is them talking about his net worth. Supposed to be $1 billion. Last year, Forbes calculated his annual earnings to be $90 million, attributing that largely to his former partnership with a liquor brand. Okay. Mr. Combs, who in his career has been variously been known as Puff Daddy, Diddy, Love, maybe the most famous music executive of his generation. But the suit depicts Mr. Combs as a violent person who, beyond repeatedly assaulting Cassie, asked her to carry his guns in her purse. No, that's normal shit. You gotta have your bitch carry your gun. What the fuck? That's a real nigga shit. That ain't no abuse. That's real nigga shit right there, people. Now, I ain't saying, listen, I'm only speaking on that one thing. If Diddy asks Cassie to carry the blick in her purse, yeah, you supposed to be a bottom bitch. I'm worth $1 billion. You're worth $0. You're catching a gun charge, not me. Duh. That ain't no fucking abuse. That's real nigga shit. Okay, on that one count. Listen, I'm not sticking up for Diddy now. Chill. And the suit suggests he was responsible for blowing up the car of a rival suitor. God damn. This nigga thinking this is his godfather. In one incident, the suit says Mr. Combs dangled a friend of Cassie over a 17th floor hotel balcony. In naming additional defendants, court papers assert that the others who work with Mr. Combs helped him to control Miss Ventura, aka Cassie at times, by threatening her with retribution, like suppressing her music if she didn't obey his orders, or by helping to conceal his behavior. The suit, which names Diddy and a number of associated companies as defendants, seeks unspecified damages. Okay, so, all right, so actually, they haven't said how much they want in court. They haven't said how much. I guess Diddy's lawyers claiming it's $30 million because that's what they asked them for before they filed the lawsuit. According to Ms. Ventura's suit, she was swept into Mr. Combs' jet set lifestyle not long after meeting him and signing with Bad Boy, which released her debut album in 2006. But the suit says he soon began to assert an extraordinary level of command over her life. In addition to controlling her career, he paid for her car. Now, that sound like a G. Again, I'm only commenting on that one thing. Him paying for her stuff is interesting. Now it's seen as control. Back then, it's probably seen as tricking, right? In addition to controlling her career, he paid for her car, apartments, and clothing. Ain't that what every girl want? For you to pay for their cars, clothes, makeup, and all that shit? And, okay, this is the invasive part. And even had access to her personal medical records. According to the suit, the results from the MRI scan she had for memory loss, oh shit, possibly caused by drug use or by a beating she says she suffered from Mr. Combs, it went directly to Mr. Combs. That's the result of the MRI scan. Mr. Combs also provided Cassie with copious amount of drugs, including ecstasy and ketamine, and urged her to take them, the suit says, and often became violent, beating her multiple times each year. The suit says Cassie never went to the police because she feared it would merely give Mr. Combs another excuse to hurt her. Okay. All right. You know, some people would say, well, why didn't you just leave? But, you know, there's a cycle of abuse, right? In another incident, in Los Angeles in 2009, the suit says Diddy became enraged when she saw that Cassie was talking to another talent agent. Then pushed her into the car and kicked her repeatedly in the face, making her bleed. According to the suit, Mr. Combs then had his staff bring her to the hotel room to recuperate for a week. She asked to go home to her parents, but Mr. Combs refused, the suit says. The suit says that after seeing the violent repercussions of rejecting Mr. Combs and to the extent to which he would isolate her from her support network, Cassie felt that saying no would cause her something. Her family, her friends, her career, or maybe even her life. And though she so she did try. She tried to leave Mr. Combs. The suit says he sent his employees to lure her back. In one incident described in the court papers, Mrs. Ventura says early 2012, he got so angry about her dating Kid Cudi. So were they together at the time? Or did they break up? I guess they were on and off, right? So he got so angry about her dating Kid Cudi that he said he would blow up the rapper's car. Around that time, the suit says, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. Through a spokeswoman, Kid Cudi confirmed Cassie's account that he had a car that exploded. He says this is all true. A few years into Cassie's relationship with Diddy, the suit says he began coercing her to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism, in which she was directed to have sex with a succession of male prostitutes while Mr. Combs watched, masturbated, and took pictures and shot video. Gay! I ain't gonna lie, man. Yo, you bring other niggas to fuck your bitch? That's some gay shit, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you, dog. If you could masturbate to another nigga in your bitch, nigga, porn is one thing, but you bring another tough back Negro who's long dick in your bitch and you jerking off, nigga? Nah, something's up with that. Okay? I don't even think Adam 22 would do some shit like that, and he white. Or maybe what? I don't know. According to the suit, Diddy called these encounters freak-offs. Which involved costumes, like masquerade masks and lingerie. They continued for years, taking place at high-end hotels across the United States in Mr. Combs' homes. The suit says he instructed her to search the website of escort services to procure male sex workers. Drugs were supplied at these events, which Miss Ventura's suit says she took because they allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. According to the suit, Cassie would delete these videos from these incidents that had been shot on her phone. But Diddy told her he still had access to those videos, and on one flight once made her watch a video she thought she deleted. The suit says as a result of these sexual encounters in different cities, she was a victim of sex trafficking. The suit accuses Mr. Combs of sexual battery, sexual assault, and violations of New York City gender-motivated violence law. The suit includes several accounts of her unsuccessful attempts to escape Mr. Combs' control. In one example, the suit says during a freak-off. God damn it, that sounds nasty. A freak-off. In a Los Angeles hotel in 2016, an intoxicated Mr. Combs punched Cassie in the face, giving her a black eye. He fell asleep and she tried to leave the room, but Mr. Combs woke up and followed her into the hallway, where he threw glass vases at her, sending glass shattering through the corridor. According to the court filing, the hotel security cameras captured the incident, but the suit says Mr. Combs paid the hotel $50,000 for the footage. The court filing says that in 2018, after Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura met for dinner, he forced himself into her apartment and raped her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. After that, the suit said she left him for good. She then married Alex Fine, a personal trainer, the following year, and now has 2 young children. According to the complaint, her association with Bad Boy ended in 2019. Okay, her case, like others, recent sexual assault lawsuit, is being brought under the Adult Survivors Act, a New York law that allows people who say they were victims of sexual abuse to file civil suits after the statute of limitations have expired. The 1-year window to bring cases under this law ends next week. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I guess there's a statute of limitation, but this act makes the statute of limitations even longer, and I guess the window ended like next week or something like that. Okay, cool. The law is cited in Ms. Ventura's complaint, and in a statement, she addressed its importance. With the expiration of blah, blah, fast approaching, it became clear this was an opportunity to speak about the trauma I've experienced and that I will be recovering for the rest of my life. Okay, people. Well, we got a lawsuit. It's right here. It's right here. Okay. Now, before we get into this chat, I will say this. By the way, I want to be delicate with this because I do know that successful black men could be targeted of claims or accusations that, even if baseless, still hurts them. And I'm not sticking up for Diddy in the least, but understanding that I have to have some type of delicacy while discussing some of this. Now, some of these assertions I'm gonna even say doesn't mean it's true, but we are going to be making some assumptions here, people, okay? Just to be very clear. For example, I do think it's odd that in the last 2 to 3 years, I believe that Diddy has completely shifted his image. His image has gotten cleaned up a lot, right? You know, Diddy's kind of been known as that playboy type of guy, whatever. While, yes, some of his, chauvinistic, bachelor attitudes or like, him having multiple girls or a harem of girls still exist because people hear about it and know about it. His attitude towards women and people in general has changed, first and foremost. And these things that come to mind, it doesn't mean what these accusations are saying is true. It doesn't mean they're false either. Diddy recently tried to get everybody to sign NDAs. That was odd. He said, I'll give y'all all back y'all publishing. By the way, there a lot of people trying to get their publishing from him for a long time. Nobody could get it back. Randomly last year, hey, that was Diddy planning for this. That was Diddy planning for this. Diddy offered publishing and other things back to everybody as long as they signed an ironclad NDA. Why? I imagine Diddy foresaw a day where this would come out and other people with maybe similar stories would try to pile on and almost create an avalanche effect to where they did to Russell Simmons. You know, that nigga live in Bali. That nigga's meditating right now. Right now, nigga. Sitting Indian style nigga with that bald head of his, meditating right now, okay? They did it to L.A. Reid. They did it to a bunch of people. I could, if you guys don't remember the girl from Danity Kane talking about it, I could pull up her clip where she basically said, hey, I told all the other girls, do not sign this thing for the publishing because of this NDA thing, right? I could pull that up, but, just keep that in mind. Secondly, Diddy changed his name to Love. Now he's all about, I'm spreading love, peace, USA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Diddy all of a sudden is the most peaceful nigga on earth. Brother love. Third of all, even when talking about a side chick, which we all know Carisha is, Diddy seems very docile. No, she can get what she wants. No, it's Carisha, anything she wants. Like, which obviously I never thought that was his get down with women. I thought he kind of ran an ironclad show, and if these bitches get out of line, you know what I mean? So when I saw him talk about Carisha like that, I'm like, okay, maybe this nigga is really, he's just a lover boy that is like just mad giving. But you could probably use all three of those things I mentioned to say that's Diddy cognizantly trying to change his image, especially as it resulted or had to do with women in the last few years. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. So let's go through this lawsuit a little bit. And I might have to jump around to like some other things that could kind of give us some context. But one of them will be this. Salute to Vlad TV, but Young Jock spoke about the relationship of Diddy and Cassie. And actually, let me just play from the source. Let's go to Vlad's page. Young Jock. Vlad gonna do a flashback with this. Young Jock, Diddy, Cassie. Let's see. Right here.
I always tell this story, nigga. I took my wife to Miami for her birthday, my ex-wife. I rented this big motherfucking, big 80-foot yacht, you know what I'm saying? We on that motherfucker drinking some rock. I hit Puff. I'm like, yo, I'm in Miami. I'm on the yacht. I'm about to come past y'all. Nigga said, pull up, nigga. Me and Cassie, we just laying around. We ain't doing nothing. We chilling. I said, I'm gonna pull up. Nigga, I pulled up, docked to that nigga house, got off, went in there, fucked with the nigga, got on the jet skis, went and kicked it for about 2 hours. When it was time to leave, he's like, nigga, what y'all doing tonight? Bring your wife, let's go out. I like, bet. So me and Puff talking, we kicking it. I never forget this. I pull back up. Puff like, get in a Jeep with me, nigga. He like, nigga, you need to get you some of these Jeeps right here. And nigga, get you a Jeep like this when you come to Miami, nigga, we can mob like this. I'm like, yeah, this the move. So we riding to the club, bumping Biggie. I'm like, nigga, this high is, I'm like, I ain't never really get the opportunity to just be with Puff like nigga, me and you, he never overshadowed me, but we never got a chance to just be together. It was here and there, moments in time. But like how that moment was, I was like, he's like, shit feel right, nigga. We need to be like Mob. And I'm like, yeah, nigga. So I never forget, we pull up to fucking Live, nigga. When we get to Live, nigga, Young Bird, well, Hitmaker. I think it was like
AKA Hitmaker.
Hitmaker. I think it was like Hit Boy or something. It was another producer. I can't remember. These niggas had these whistles. So they throw Puff a whistle. Puff like, you? I was like, I don't even know what that whistle shit mean. I'm cool. I don't do whistles. And I never forget Hit Rock was there. Hit Rock was like, boy, it's finna be live.
Boy, you blow that whistle, it's finna be a party in here.
Never forget this shit. We go in the club, we kicking it, shit. I'm like, damn, this what's up. The nigga Puff is on the goddamn, he on the shit, the bar where everybody perform at in front of the DJ and shit. And he going crazy. This bitch lit. You remember Scarface when that white woman was coming down the escalator?
Yeah.
He was in that man's house and he saw that man's wife and was like this. I was watching Puff. The nigga Puff was looking up there. He saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around her. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sitting next to each other. My wife right here, Cassie right here. The nigga jumped off the bar, came over and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow, I want you to shave the side of your head. And I was like, what the fuck kind of request is that? So when I'm like, what the fuck? So when I look up there, this white woman's side of her head was shaved, my nigga. And the bitch looked good with it. So I was looking at Cassie, I was like, well, I was like, you're not about to do that, are you? She said, well, I mean, whatever Sean wants, I'm gonna do. I was like, well, you make sure you send me a picture before you do that shit. So within like 2-3 days, she sent me a picture. I'm like, she done shaved her motherfucking head. I'm like, that shit look good. When that shit hit the internet, boom.
She started a whole trend, man.
A whole trend, and I watched it happen.
She started a whole
So I got so many moments and stories.
Now, Jock told the story a while ago, but in context, you could tell that Cassie just clearly just wanted to appease this nigga. Now, I'm going to connect a few things that may be related or maybe not. Now, if you guys don't know, this ain't the first lawsuit that's kind of like hinted to some kind of weird personal behavior with Diddy. There was a chef that sued Diddy before. Chef sues Diddy, okay? By the way, they settled that lawsuit, but it did go public. And let's see if we could read into that. Diddy ex-chef sued... Oh, my God, they're hating on me now. Okay, all right. Let's see, we got the ad blocker. They don't like it. All right, fuck it. Oh, I can just disable it. Here we go. Sorry. I disabled it on the site. Give me 1 second. And yes, we are going to read the lawsuit. Don't you worry about it. Where we go? Extension. Pause on this site. Okay. We should be good. All right. I'm trying to get the... Nah. Okay. Here it is. Okay. In her lawsuit, blah, 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 against Diddy was 47 at the time. She alleged she would work long hours, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's not the crazy part. She alleged she was exposed to a harassing and hostile work environment. Example, in 2015, she arrived late because blah, blah. He was present with house guest Gina, and he yelled at her and then asked, can't you see I have company? Okay, that's not that crazy. Then, okay. She said that when she finished making breakfast, she brought the food to Diddy's bedroom and knocked first, then entered to set up the meal. Upon entering, I noticed Mr. Combs and his guests indisposed and engaged in sexual activity. She also claimed that in 2015, Diddy's manager commented on the size of her lips and he and one of her bosses asked a number of sexual-oriented questions. She says one of the bosses told her to sign a confidentiality agreement on whatever. Okay. I thought there was some more. There was some more shit where she was like, "Yo, Diddy pulled his dick out or some shit like that. Like, just whip that bitch out when she was setting up the food." Maybe I can find a better. Oh yeah, the chef said that Diddy asked her to serve him snacks while he had sex. Okay, good. We'll just use the TMZ article. Thank you. All right. Yeah, Diddy had his personal chef whip up meals right after he had sex and wasn't shy about showing off his manhood when she entered the room. In the documents obtained by TMZ, she was regularly summoned to serve Diddy and his guests while they were engaged in or immediately following sexual activity. She says at least on one occasion, Diddy was still naked when she entered the room and asked if she liked what she saw. The suit makes it seem like Diddy was recreating Caligula in his LA mansion. She says another time, one of his buddies approached her in the kitchen while he was nude, and asked her to check out his dick. She says she complained about sexual harassment to Diddy's assistant, and as a result was set up by another staffer to make it look like she had stolen one of his watches. According to the suit, she was fired with a string attached. If she signed an exit agreement, waiving all the rights to sue Diddy, she wouldn't be prosecuted. She said she refused to sign and was terminated a year ago. Okay? So Diddy's kind of notorious for these, NDAs or whatever going on. But okay, let's go back. So here's the lawsuit. And we're going to kind of break all of this shit down. Okay, so let's start. This is some preliminary statements. Defendant Diddy is a rapper and record executive, popularly known by the names Diddy, Puff Daddy, or P. Diddy. Came into fame. Okay, we all know that. It says the truth, however, is that Cassie was held down by Diddy and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. From Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking, among other violent, unlawful acts. He raped her in her own home after she tried to leave him, often punched, beat, kicked, stomped on her, resulting in bruises, black eyes, burst lips, and bleeding, blew up a man's car after learning that he was romantically interested in her, forced her to engage in sexual acts with male sex workers while masturbating and filming the encounters, ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive whom he learned was nearby. Yo, Diddy was chasing niggas with guns? Demanded Miss Ventura to carry a gun in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is, and introduce her to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol, substance abuse, and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Miss Ventura met him in 2005. She was 19. Okay, cool. I want to get to some more information that wasn't in the LA Times article that we read. Throughout the relationship, he was prone to uncontrollable rage and frequently beat her savagely. These beatings were witnessed by his staff and employees of Bad Boy Entertainment and Mr. Combs related businesses. Now, here's the interesting part, and let's start connecting a few dots. For what we know, there hasn't been any criminal complaints thus far about any of this behavior. Allegedly, everybody who came in the Bad Boy system then left the Bad Boy system as employees all signed NDAs, which means they have to shut the fuck up. They probably got a little bonus, but they cannot speak up, write a book, nothing of the sort to disparage Mr. Combs. Now, this is why there's an interesting thing happening, right? And let's go back to TMZ. If you go to TMZ, there's a new article up there that says Diddy is the subject of a NYPD criminal investigation, and it apparently involves sexual assault. Let's read this real quick. By the way, this was printed today at, it looks like 9 p.m., okay? Look, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Diddy is the subject of a secret NYPD investigation, and although it's unclear if his ex, Cassie, made the criminal complaint, there's strong evidence it involves sexual assault. They tell TMZ there's an open case with the name Sean Combs. We're told it's an active case. Active, okay? So it's not something that was cleared. But the case file has been locked, which means it's a sensitive case where access is restricted. As we reported, Cassie has filed an explosive federal lawsuit which alleges rape and human trafficking, among other accusations. We inquired about the case at NYPD, and they respond with a statement. The NYPD takes sexual assault and rape case extremely serious and urges anyone who has been a victim to file a police report so we can perform a comprehensive investigation and offer support and services to survivors. It was seen based on the statement, not only is this a sexual assault case, but the NYPD is actively looking for other alleged victims. They might be trying to Harvey Weinstein this nigga, like, which means let's get all the people he done fucked with, get them on one big, like, you know what I mean, criminal complaint and sink this nigga. We contacted other law enforcement in numerous jurisdictions Cassie mentions in her complaint, including Miami, Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, and at every juncture, we got the same reply. No police report has been filed as it pertains to Cassie or Diddy, and no investigation has been launched. Now, that's interesting. I don't know if those police precincts would be at liberty to discuss that with the media, like TMZ, even though TMZ is pretty like crafty with getting sources. But here's the thing. I think Los Angeles is pretty much where a lot of people claim the fuckery with Diddy happened. Like, he had this LA mansion and it was a freak fest. You know what I mean? Like, he was bringing people in from LA to fuck the girls. Yo, look how beautiful Cassie is. Yo, niggas be sick, bro. Like, again, I don't know if I believe all this shit. You know, again, this is he said, she said at this point. Obviously, you're going to have to take a personal opinion if you want to believe it or not. But look how beautiful this girl is. Why would you want another nigga to fuck your bitch? Like, this shit like be boggling my mind. Why the hell would you be like, yo, me fucking her is not enough. I need to see 5 other niggas fuck her. What the fuck is that? Anyway, cool. Now, here's why I think this is a little bit interesting. I believe this is a little bit interesting that there is a criminal investigation happening now, because I think that's the only thing that could go around all these NDAs that Diddy has allegedly had so many people sign. Because in an NDA, people would be under the pressure of Diddy suing them or something else happening to them because they signed this shut up clause, which is the NDA. However, if it's a criminal investigation and whatever they have to say is going to be important to said criminal investigation, they're good. So I'm wondering if they kind of open this up, right, to kind of lure other people out who may have been silenced by NDAs and other things. You get what I'm saying? So I do believe that this NYPD case is probably hoping to, you know, flush out the rest of the victims. You get what I mean? Somebody says she said he had sex with dudes. Well, we'll see, because we're reading the lawsuit. But I'm only bringing this up because you're going to keep hearing NDAs. And the only thing, or one of the things that usually helps alleviates people shutting up because of an NDA is a investigation by the police, right? Okay, here we go. Yeah. So the beatings. So again, for example, if the beatings were witnessed by, if the beatings were witnessed by Mr. Combs' staff and employees of Bad Boy Entertainment, that means they're witnesses, right? But of course, they all have NDAs. So now that the investigation has been opened up, these people could speak at liberty to the cops. Like, yeah, I seen them beat her ass, or I seen them, you know, do whatever. They said no one would speak up against their frightening and ferocious boss. Following these episodes of horrific abuse, he would immediately attempt to hide her and hide evidence of his violent rage. He often showered over gifts following the incidents, a typical pattern of behavior by serial abusers. In addition to the physical assaults, he frequently reminded her of his ability to cause serious harm, whether by requiring her to carry his gun in her purse, or by blowing up the car of a musician that was romantically interested in her. At an insult to injury, he used illegal substances and threats of violence to force her into repeated unwanted sexual encounters with male sex workers. Over the years, Diddy abused her physically and sexually. She again tried to escape. Every time she hid, his vast network of corporations and affiliated entities found her, and for those who worked for Mr. Combs' companies, implored her to return to him. Many went as far to implicitly state that her failure to return would hinder her success in the entertainment industry. When she finally believed she separated from her longtime abuser, she joined Mr. Combs for dinner, after which if you were trying to get away from him for so long, why would you join a nigga for dinner? Okay, whatever. She joined him for dinner, after which he forced her into her home. Okay, so he forced her into her home and then raped her while she repeatedly said no and pushed him away. She's not fully escaped him, but the harm of the assault will last forever. Okay, all right, cool. All right, here's the parties. So defendant Sean Combs, that's Diddy. Bad Boy Entertainment's being sued. Bad Boy Records LLC is being sued. Epic Records is being sued. Okay. Combs Enterprises is being sued. By the way, the liquor brand that Diddy has falls up under here. So all the money that Diddy got from Ciroc or De Leon comes through here, this company. Okay. His music money comes through here. And I think this is a subsidiary of Bad Boy Entertainment, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. And defendant Doe Corporations 1 to 10 are other corporations and entities affiliated and associated with Mr. Combs or the defendant's corporations. Okay, cool. And some were employees. At all relevant times, they were employees of the plaintiff. Okay, cool. All right. So factual allegations. Let's do this. Cassie met him in late 2005 or early 2006 after he heard her first single played at a club, and he expressed interest in signing her to his label. At the time, she was 19. He was 37. Okay. Is that odd or is that like normal? Okay. Within months, in February 2006, she signed a 10-album deal? What the fuck? Yeah, he was definitely gonna fuck her. If you sign somebody to a 10-album deal, that means, nigga, you ain't never gonna be free. Yeah, he was definitely gonna fuck. Nigga, you basically signed her for the rest of her life. Like, I don't know if you know how they usually schedule albums, but when you hear 10-album deal, at minimum, it's 10 years. Because they usually call an album like a term or whatever the case is, and they usually put it into writing that you're only allowed to drop one per year, at minimum. Back in the day, sometimes they might say one every 2 years, right? Which, again, you put a time limit on that and extrapolate it. At minimum, he signed her at 19. She wasn't going to be free till she was 30, right? Her first album, Cassie, was released 2006, debuting at number 4 on the U.S. Billboard. Now, this is probably the power of Diddy as well. Diddy is such a great promoter, and also like he has such a huge stake in the music industry that shit, of course you would want to sign to Diddy, because if Diddy really wants your shit to go, your shit is going to go. To promote the album, she made appearances on MTV Total TRL, BET 106 and Park. She suffered from significant performance anxiety during these appearances, and press outlets were highly critical of her performances on this show. He sought to rehabilitate his newly signed talent, telling MTV, "You could hear the nervousness in her voice." And to be honest with you, I kind of smiled at it because it made me really appreciate what I love about her. She's a regular person. It just made me appreciate that she got nervous. It was kind of cute to me. To be honest, you got to understand that success for her is coming out of nowhere. It's so huge, and sometimes everybody handles it differently. While clearly paternalistic in noting that it was cute to him how regular Miss Ventura appeared, his comments rang true to some extent upon signing the Bad Boy. Cassie was quickly thrusted in the spotlight and was unfamiliar with how to navigate her new celebrity status. His recognition and glorification of Cassie's naivete proved to set the groundwork for his manipulative and coercive romantic and sexual relationship with Miss Ventura, a woman who was 2 decades his junior. Within a year of signing to Bad Boy Records, he became deeply entrenched in her life, almost immediately asserting possession and control over her and inserting himself into all aspects of her career and personal life. In 2006, he invited her to perform his song "Come to Me" along with him at the MTV Europe Music Awards in Copenhagen, Denmark. After rehearsal for the performance, he walked around in a robe with a drink in his hand, flaunting his lavish party lifestyle to his label's newly signed artists. During hair and makeup leading to the performance, Cassie's hairstylist and Mr. Combs' makeup artist told Cassie that Mr. Combs was interested in her. She shrugged off the gossip and, in fact, expressed disgust given the large age gap between her and the president of her record label, emphasizing the age and power dynamic early in their working relationship. Diddy positioned himself as a father figure and a protector of Mrs. Ventura. By way of example, after returning to New York after a trip to Las Vegas, during which she endured a brief hospital stay, Cassie, who by then was fully healthy, went out to a club with her friends. When Mr. Combs saw her out, he reprimanded her, telling her to go home and take care of herself. At the time, Cassie thought that the record label was looking out for her well-being and that Diddy had her best interests in mind. Diddy also ensured he was intertwined with Cassie's personal and social life, for instance, by inviting himself to Cassie's 21st birthday party. That means Diddy was 40 at his girl's 21st birthday party? Is that odd? You 40, she 30, is she 21? Okay. He also brought along famous musicians and producers, thereby flaunting his celebrity status and influence in front of a young and impressionable Cassie. Although Mr. Combs knew that Cassie was in a relationship. Oh, she was. Damn, that's Mr. Take Your Bitch for real. Although Diddy knew that Cassie was in a relationship at the time, and even though he was publicly in a relationship with Kim Porter. Oh, damn, he was with Kim Porter at the time. He nevertheless pursued Cassie at an after party in a hotel suite following Cassie's 21st birthday party. Diddy pulled Cassie into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her. Cassie did not consent to this unwanted contact. She immediately ran out of the bathroom and the hotel suite and cried. She even told her best friend at the time about what happened, but was too scared to tell anyone else. At the Music Video Awards, Cassie's boyfriend at the time joined her and Diddy at the table at the awards ceremony. Diddy became angry, telling Cassie that the invitation to the awards ceremony was only for her, not for her significant other. Despite her clear rejection of Diddy's advances, Diddy continued to demand her spend time with him, including the weekend at Mr. Combs' residence in Miami and for nights out in New York City. At one particular time around September 2007, Mr. Combs insisted on taking her out. Cassie acquiesced. She was down. Fearing that rejecting Diddy's request would have repercussions for her album deal with Diddy and his company Bad Boy Records. Diddy picked her up from the Manhattan apartment in a blue luxury vehicle. Damn, she got good memory. Blue? Okay. She was surprised when she got in the car. Diddy was already inebriated. He handed her a pill and told her to take it. And when Ms. Ventura asked what the pill was, Diddy dismissed her and said she would like it. She later learned the pill was ecstasy, something that Cassie had never before tried and did not want to try. This was the first time Diddy had gotten Cassie high. Diddy then proceeded to drive recklessly at a high rate of speed down the West Side Highway of Manhattan. She was very scared, but she didn't dare object to Diddy, who appeared drunk, high, and agitated. Diddy took her to an upscale lounge in downtown Manhattan, where he proceeded to get into an altercation with the security staff who would not permit Diddy to enter, presumably because he was belligerent. Cassie decided to go home, but for the remainder of the night, Diddy messaged her incessantly, complaining that he left him high and alone. Okay, that's a typo. What type of lawyer she got? This is a typo right here. It got to be she. That she left him high and alone. Okay. In early fall 2007, Diddy flexed his power and influence when he paid a promoter to create a fake flyer for a party hosted by Cassie. The fake posting allowed Cassie to have an excuse to go to Miami, Florida, and get away from her boyfriend by using the guise of a legitimate event she had to attend. She was stunned at how easily Diddy was able to recruit others to lie for him. Cassie was uncomfortable with the fake flyer, but because the request to go to Miami was made by the owner of the record label, and because she was scared to go against his wishes and face repercussions for her nascent career, Cassie agreed to join Mr. Combs in Florida. During this trip, Mr. Combs provided Cassie with copious amount of drugs. She became more intoxicated than ever before. Her intoxication lasted throughout the weekend trip. As she wanted Mr. Combs to continue to support her career, she felt she could not refuse Mr. Combs urging her to take more drugs. After providing her with drugs, Mr. Combs had sexual intercourse with Ventura during this trip. So they're saying this is the first time he fucked. Within 2 years of meeting Combs, Cassie found herself lured into the immediate circle of her boss, the owner of her record label and the most powerful man in the music industry. From the very start of the relationship, Diddy exerted his power over Cassie. The dynamic was fueled by their near 20-year age difference, as well as their relative positions in the music industry, with Diddy considered a music mogul and Cassie at the very start of her career as an entertainer. Mr. Combs aggressively demanded an approach. Diddy's aggressive and demanding approach to those who he had worked with made it impossible for anyone to challenge him. And Cassie soon learned that Diddy insisted on blind loyalty from anyone in his inner circle. Although Cassie had saved up some earnings from her young modeling career, Diddy's ostentatious display of wealth was intimidating to her. Diddy paid for things with wads of cash and would repeatedly tell Cassie, "Don't worry about money, I got money." Diddy expensed lavish vacation for him and her, purchased a car for her, paid for an apartment, and provided her with extensive amounts of designer clothing. Around 2008 to 2009, he began to rent an apartment in Manhattan for Miss Ventura. The apartment was within walking distance of Mr. Combs' New York residence. He first showed Cassie the apartment by bringing her there along with her parents. Miss Ventura's parents were skeptical of the mogul's display of wealth, but proud of their daughter's newfound success. Around 2010, Diddy similarly paid for an apartment for Miss Ventura in Los Angeles, which was located about 5 minutes away from Mr. Combs' residence. He paid for many of her apartments in California and also purchased a Jaguar for her around 2013 and 2014. In all aspects of Cassie's life were controlled either by Mr. Combs or his management companies. Every event she went to, from travel to the makeup to the clothing, was paid for directly by Mr. Combs or affiliated companies. Compounding this all-encompassing intrusion into her life, Mr. Combs secured his control over a young and impressionable Cassie by introducing her to a drug-fueled lifestyle that kept her complacent and compliant. She first introduced Miss Ventura to opiates around 2008 and would often have pills out in the open like candy. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs had been addicted to prescription painkillers and took ecstasy frequently. Okay, so Diddy was addicted to painkillers and ecstasy. Okay. At first, Cassie was given the prescription that Mr. Combs received from a doctor in Miami. Eventually, Diddy exhausted his supplies of pills, and he demanded that Cassie procure prescriptions from this Miami doctor in her own name. Diddy also became deeply involved in her personal life, with his personal staff attending to her day-to-day travel and other needs, including medical care. On multiple occasions, he had her personal medical records sent directly to his email address. For example, when she started experiencing memory loss, potentially to the extent excessive drug use or the head injuries caused by Mr. Combs' beating. As described below, her MRI results were provided directly to Mr. Combs. Mr. Combs repeatedly arranged for his staff to drive her to certain doctor appointments. In this way, Mr. Combs exerted ownership over Ms. Ventura. As another example of the ways that he manipulated her and assured obedience early on in the relationship, he asked her what she called her grandfather. When Cassie said that she referred to her grandfather as Pop Pop, Diddy perversely insisted that Cassie referred to him with that same nickname. What the fuck? Let me read this again. When Cassie said she referred to her grandfather as Pop Pop, Diddy perversely insisted that Cassie referred to him with the same nickname. Okay. What started as a whirlwind of celebrity meetings and drug and alcohol-fueled parties, however, quickly turned frightening and violent. She was exposed to intense violence that pervaded Diddy's rise to fame. For example, on one occasion, Diddy and Cassie were using drugs together in his home. One of his security banged and announced that Suge Knight, oh shit, a longtime rival of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. Cassie became terrified and began to cry. On at least 2 occasions, Diddy demanded that Miss Ventura hold Diddy's gun in her purse. Cassie had no familiarity with guns, and she was petrified that the firearm would accidentally go off in her purse. There was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold his guns, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous. Over the next decade, multiple times each year, Diddy would violently beat her, leaving bruises on her body, and after every instance in which he beat Cassie, Diddy used his money and power to orchestrate extensive efforts to hide his evidence of abuse, including by hiding Miss Ventura in a hotel for days at a time to let her bruises heal. In one such instance, after a party with Jay-Z, Mr. Combs beat her ass repeatedly to escalate by kicking her and hitting her. He forced her out of the vehicle on 5th Avenue in New York City. She was eventually able to hail a cab to get to her apartment in Manhattan, where she cried in fear, realizing that there was no one she could tell about what happened at the hands of this incredible, powerful man. She spent the subsequent 3 days hiding in an apartment. In January 2009, after Mr. Combs learned that Miss Ventura had spoken to another music manager at a party in L.A., he became enraged. She had hoped speaking to this man would allow her to further grow her career and that Diddy would be happy for her, but instead he became extremely angry and pulled her out of the club where the party was taking place. In the car leaving the club, he beat her ass, pushed her into the corner of the vehicle, and giving her the Little Reese 300 combo and a goddamn A-Town stomp. Mr. Combs' security staff, Roger Bonds, tried to stop the beating, but was unable to de-escalate the situation. When the car arrived at Mr. Combs' residence, Cassie attempted to run away, but Diddy followed her and proceeded to kick her in the face. Goddamn. Cassie was bleeding profusely and was ushered into Diddy's crib, where she began to throw up from the violent assault. Upon recognizing the damage he had done, the physical evidence of the abuse, he panicked, forcing his staff to bring her to a hotel suite at the London Hotel in Los Angeles. Damn, he really met her ass at the London, huh? It's not funny. Where she was required to stay for a week. During the stay, as her injuries healed from the beating, she finally realized that Mr. Combs' tremendous loyal network not only knew about and witnessed the assault, but also that these witnesses were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop Mr. Combs' behavior. She recognized she was powerless, and reporting Mr. Combs to the authorities would not alter his status or influence, would not alter Diddy's status or influence, but would merely give him another excuse to hurt her, okay? While in the hotel, she asked to go home to her parents, but Diddy wouldn't allow her. She lied to her mother when asked about online gossip that reported the assault. Diddy proceeded to instruct his assistant to purchase excessive amount of gifts for her, which was delivered to the hotel room where she remained trapped. She was terrified, isolated, and unable to see the pathway out of the abusive hold that Diddy had on her life. She found herself becoming numb to the abuse she was experiencing and became entirely beholden to Diddy's demands. She began to blindly follow his instructions out of fear of getting the 300 combo by Little Reese. Actually, no, my brother Love. By Diddy's own admission, his relationship with Cassie was like Bobby and Whitney, Ike and Tina, Blueface and Krishan rock. A clear acknowledgement of the unequal power dynamic and excessive domestic violence that permeated their relationship from the outside looking in. Cassie and others had heard and referred to her relationship with Diddy like Ike and Tina. Blueface and Krishan, not gonna lie. Her volatile and abusive partner, who also owned the label and therefore held her future success in his hand, had fully exerted control over every aspect of her life. Wow, he forced her into sex trafficking. Oh, this is about to be the tea right here. This is about to be the tea. I ain't gonna lie to you. Within a few months of beginning the romantic relationship with the 40-year-old Combs, the 22-year-old Miss Ventura felt beholden to his whims and demands. While in New York City, Diddy told Cassie that he wanted to engage in a fantasy called voyeurism. Let me Google this real quick, chat. We got to figure out what's going on. Let's see. Voyeurism sex. Hold on. Oh, okay. At least ain't pop up like a fucking dick or something like that. Voyeurism is a sexual interest or practice of watching other people engage. Oh, so it's one of those things where people are fucking, but you're in the room. Okay, so it's like rather than, oh, okay, so you're voyeuristically enjoying it. So it's like watching porn, but watching real porn. Let me click on this shit real quick. Hopefully it'll bring some actual porn on my fucking screen. I can't show that. The term comes from the French word voyeur, which means to see. A male voyeur is commonly labeled as a peeping Tom or Jags, which a term which originates from the, I can't show this part because it's a naked nigga, pause, on the right side. It's Wikipedia though. Which originates from the lady Godiva. Is it Godiva or Godiva? Legend. However, the term is usually applied to a male who observes someone secretly and generally not in the public space. The American Psychiatric Association has classified certain voyeuristic fantasies, urges, and patterns, behavior patterns as a paraphilia in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual if the person has acted on these urges, or the sexual urges or fantasies has caused marked distress or interpersonal difficulty. Oh. Wow. I can show this part. Gender differences. Research shows that almost all, whatever, voyeurism is more common in men than women. However, research has found that men and women both report roughly the same likelihood that they would hypothetically engage in it. There appears to be a greater gender difference when actually presented with the opportunity to perform it. There's very little research done on voyeurism in women, so little is known on the subject, which limits the degree to which they could generalize to normal female population. 2021, a study found that 36.4% of men and 63.8% of women were strongly repulsed by the idea. I think that's a lie. Women will lie about that shit. But it's essentially, I guess you're saying damn near 60% of dudes are maybe not want to do it, but they're open to the idea or they're not repulsed by it. Men were more likely to be mildly or moderately aroused than women. But there was little gender difference among those who reported strong arousals. Okay, whatever. All right, cool. All right, we get it. Let's get back to the shit, chat. Okay, cool. So that's what Diddy's into. Cool. Now, here's the thing. Is he jerking off at the idea of sex? Is he jerking off looking at Cassie? Or he's watching Jason Love long dick Cassie and he's jerking off at Jason Love? We got to figure that out, man. Brother love. We got to figure this out. The first time, Diddy hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles. The man, Diddy, and Cassie wore masquerade masks. And ingested drugs. Diddy directed Cassie to perform sexual acts with the man while Diddy watched them. He masturbated while he directed Cassie and the man to do specific sexual acts. The encounter lasted multiple days. What the fuck? Nigga, how horny you gotta be to fuck for days? That nigga must have been on a Cialis pill. That boy Diddy was on a Blue Chew. That nigga must have been on the Honey Pack. What the fuck? Mr. Combs began to call the arrangement a freak off or a FO. He would repeatedly tell Cassie at random moments he wanted to do a FO, and Cassie was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of male sex workers. At certain times during Cassie's and Diddy's relationship, he would insist on a weekly freak off. He would repeatedly tell Cassie that this practice was our thing and our secret. The FO would often take place in hotel suites, including the Trump International. I'm at the Trump International. Ask for me. Damn. Okay. In Columbus Circle, L'Hermitage, Beverly Hills, the London in L.A., the Intercontinental in Century City, the Intercontinental Atlanta, and the Intercontinental New York City. The One Hotel in New York and in Miami, the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in New York and in Miami, the Fontainebleau Miami, the Beverly Hills Hotel, and the Shutters on the Beach in Los Angeles. On one occasion, around 2013, Mr. Combs had a freak-off set up at the Intercontinental Hotel in New York City, after which he was charged with tens of thousands of dollars for damages by the hotel. Upon the information and belief that Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Tony Fletcher, paid the invoice charged by the hotel. Cassie was eventually instructed to use websites and escort services to find male sex workers to perform the FOs. Mr. Combs told Mrs. Ventura to search for large... What the fuck? Diddy? Is this a party? Mr. Combs told Cassie to search for large black penises? Shrekky? Yo, chat. I'm still pussy for not showing up to that party in London. He already, listen, are we reading the same document? First of all, Diddy and London, you hear what these things was going down? Meet me at the London. I don't want to meet Diddy in the London Hotel, in London Bridge. Nothing with London in it, nigga. I'm sorry, okay? We ain't meeting nothing with a London in it, nigga. Nothing, okay? Fuck is you talking about? Nigga, over the last 2 weeks, nigga, I'm about to start walking around with a fucking diaper. One gay nigga's threatening to rape me, and Diddy's trying to bring me to the London. Fuck out of here. What's going on, man? Listen, protect Axe Anus. Real talk, though. Real talk. Something going on up in this industry. I ain't gonna lie. All right. He told her to search for black penises on the website. Big ones. Sometimes Diddy would pay to fly male sex workers to his location, including to multiple cities in the United States as well as abroad. He would require Cassie and his staff to help him make these arrangements. Mr. Combs' assistants would help set up the freak-offs, including setting up the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. God damn. This nigga Diddy had a fucking slip and slide made of lube in his goddamn bedroom. You might fuck around and slip and fall on a dick. Mr. Combs always supplied Mrs. Ventura, aka Cassie, and the sex workers with copious amount of drugs before and during the freak-offs. Cassie was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB. Chat, what's that? What's that? Yeah, fiends, what is that? What's GHB? Ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during the freak-offs, which allowed her to associate with these horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after a freak-off to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. Hold up. I know I seen Diddy with a fucking IV in before. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me this was after a freak off. Oh. My boy went so hard doing the freak off, he's walking around with the IV. Oh, no. The freak off. This nigga still moving like he the freak off, huh? Bad boy, take that, take that. Oh, no. No way, Diddy. Not the IV. Fuck. IV treatment. Nah, this shit is crazy. Yeah, I'm about to apologize to Diddy, man. I don't want no smoke with this nigga. The fuck? Bro, I must leave that there. Okay. So it was commonplace to get an IV after the freak off. Cassie was required to dress up in lingerie for a freak off, and Diddy insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to pipe her down. During the freak off, he would instruct Cassie to pour excessive amount of oil over herself. He would then instruct Cassie and the sex workers to speak to each other, and then would specifically tell Cassie where to touch the sex workers. He would say things like, "Bitch, grab that big black dick." What the fuck? Diddy! You hear this shit? And ask her while she was getting pummeled and donkey fucked, how does it feel? Sound like Diddy wanted to get bent over himself. Shreddy? As he directed her to perform for him during a freak off. In addition to directing Cassie and masturbating. Oh shit, this nigga is like an ambidextrous nigga. He pointing, hey yo, grab that big dick. He whacking off at it. This nigga's like multitasking. He whacking off and he directing the porno. Same time. Holy. Diddy would use his laptop, his phone, and his tablet to film. God damn it. This nigga filming with 3 devices at once. Yo. If y'all niggas ever got in Diddy's iCloud, y'all niggas would probably find some shit. Y'all find that nigga doing the Harlem Shake right before Tupac got shot. Y'all find him having an orgy with like all the top black men in the industry. You find him with like 10 niggas lined up to pipe Cassie out, and he over there saying, "Yo, grab his balls, Playboy, grab his balls." Oh shit, this is crazy. To film Cassie while she has sex. To film Cassie having sex with the hired sex workers, he treated the force encounter as a personal art project, adjusting the candles for lighting and to frame the videos he took. While Cassie quickly deleted any photographs or videos of the sex acts if they were taken on her phone, Diddy repeatedly made it clear that he retained many of the videos during the freak-offs. Yo, that's a crazy name. A freak-off. Yo, this nigga act like it was an Olympic event. A freak-off. Even when she deleted the video, Diddy would tell her that he could get the deleted device back from her phone. On one occasion, he sat next to her on a flight, made her watch a video she thought she had deleted, reinforcing her ability to escape and the immense power he held over her. He would pay the male sex worker a few $1,000s in cash for their services. During some of the freak-offs, he would become so intoxicated, he would slap the fuck out of Cassie in front of the male workers. She was repulsed by his demands. Between the physical beating and recognizing his incredible power and an incredible temper, she became petrified of her partner and boss and felt she could not say no. He would even present her with lavish gifts prior to or in the middle of a freak-off. Imagine she's over here gagging on a 15-inch cock, and Diddy's like, hey, I got you a Chanel bag. Like, yo, Diddy's a wild boy. So he would give her lavish gifts in the middle of the freak-offs, seemingly acknowledged the ways in which these 4 sexual encounters constituted work for Cassie, and that he needed to compensate her for her work. At one point, he had given her so many designer bracelets for the freak-offs that she felt she was being shackled by the presence. Frequently, her anxiety before a freak-off, yo, this is crazy, would become so great that she would become physically ill, sometimes to the point of vomiting. While kneeling over the toilet, Diddy would shame her into performing for him, eventually forcing her to get up and proceed with the encounter. She knew firsthand that telling Diddy that she didn't want to engage in the freak-off was going to be met with anger and violence. In addition, any suggestion that Cassie would refuse the freak-off or otherwise report Diddy's abuse was met with ultimatums by Diddy, who would say Cassie couldn't go to the police because she has a lot to lose. Around 2015, for example, in the middle of a surprise birthday dinner for Cassie's 29th, damn, she was with that nigga from 19 to 29, that's 10 years, god damn. Diddy insisted that Cassie leave the party and go to a hotel for a freak. Yo, Diddy like that? Yo, how you at a surprise birthday party? You'd be like, yo, fuck all this candle blowing, man. Yo, call up the big dick niggas. We finna have a freak off, okay? That's what we finna do, okay? Let's get to the London and we about to have a freak off. God damn. Insisted that she had to go to the hotel for a freak off. When she expressed she didn't want to go, Diddy had Miss Ventura cornered by security staff and forced her to leave with him. After this freak off, Diddy and Cassie went back to the hotel room where she was staying, where some of her friends were already hanging out. He was severely intoxicated at one point in the night, picked up one of her friends like a child and dangled the friend over the balcony of the 17th floor hotel suite. Cassie and her friends were scared by Diddy's erratic behavior, but Cassie was heavily sedated because of the drugs she took to participate in the freak-off, and therefore was unable to respond to Mr. Combs' terrifying behavior. The freak-offs became work for Miss Ventura, and despite her protestations, Diddy insisted on these intricately staged and forced sexual encounter between Miss... Yo, damn. It sound like hundreds... Yo, I just... This boggles my mind, yo. Diddy's weird. I'm sorry. Like, Diddy just sounds weird. Again, maybe this ain't true, but nigga, look how beautiful Cassie is. Why would you want a bunch of niggas fucking her? The average man gets mad at the thought of another nigga looking at his girl. Why would you want another man fucking your bitch? Damn, Cassie body count is probably crazy. Like, damn. You know who's probably the nigga who's most mad? Cassie's new man. Yo, Diddy done recruited every nigga with a 15-inch dick to pipe the shit out of Cassie. Nigga, it might be like throwing a hot dog down a fucking hallway at this point. Okay? You up in the box like, fuck you, Diddy. This why I can't feel them walls. Fuck you, Diddy. Fuck you, Diddy. This why I can't feel them walls, nigga. Fuck you. God damn. Okay. By the way, this is not a joking matter, people. Calm down. Miss Ventura tries to escape Mr. Combs' abuse. Damn, this is chapter 6. This story hitting. Yo, this story hitting, man. Hulu finna pick this shit up. Hulu finna pick this shit up, okay? Anytime she tried to create distance between her and Mr. Combs, he tried to use his network to find her and convince her to return to his abuse. Multiple occasions, he says his employees to lure her back. 2011, during a rough patch in Mr. Combs and then Cassie's relationship, Cassie had a brief relationship with musician Kid Cudi. When Mr. Combs returned from a trip, he demanded a freak-off. What the? Wait, hold on. Wait. Wait. So wait. I guess they're off at this point, so they're not together. She goes to date Kid Cudi for a little bit, and Diddy comes from a trip and demands a freak off. And when it says acquiesce, she did it. How you gonna do a freak off with your ex-boyfriend when you dating Kid Cudi? So you cheated on Kid Cudi. During this freak off, Mr. Combs found Cassie's phone and found emails between her and Kid Cudi. Mr. Combs became enraged and proceeded to place a manual corkscrew between his finger and lunged at Cassie. Cassie ran away to stay at Kid Cudi's home. He should know Kid Cudi pussy. Like Kid Cudi, Diddy a gangster. Kid Cudi pussy. Come on now, right? You can't go to his house. You got to go to Suge Knight's crib or something like that if you want protection. She ran away to stay at Kid Cudi's crib to escape Diddy's wrath. Soon thereafter, one of Diddy's staff members told Cassie that he needed to just talk to Diddy, even though Diddy was enraged. Feeling like she couldn't escape Diddy from Diddy and his network of enforcers, she returned to Mr. Combs. He hit her several times and kicked her in the back as she tried to run out the door. She went to her parents' home in Connecticut, where the mom took pictures of the bruises that he had left on her body. In February 2012, during Paris Fashion Week, he told her that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car, and he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in the driveway. I'm finna check my cars again, chat. Hey, Diddy, I only called your girl a side chick. I'm not fucking your bitches, okay? This is what Diddy does if a nigga fucks his bitch, okay? For the record, I ain't do nothing with none of Diddy's girls. I only hated on him a little bit. I call him a side chick. That's it, Diddy. Do not try to blow my car up. Ms. Ventura was terrified. She began to fully comprehend what Diddy was both willing and able to do to those he believed had slighted him. 2015, she spoke to a popular music manager at an after party in the hotel suite in Las Vegas. He saw her speaking to this manager and sternly told her to step into the bedroom in the adjoining suite. In the bedroom, he beat her ass. She ran from corner to corner trying to avoid the beating and kicking. When she tried to lock herself in the bathroom, he pushed through, punched her, and kicked her while she was curled up in the toilet. Okay, her screams were drowned out by the loud music playing outside the hotel suite. When the head of security saw Cassie after the assault, they began to cry. She had 2 black eyes, pop lip, huge welt on her forehead. After seeing the results of the vicious attack, he took steps to conceal his wrongdoing. He forced her to stay at his home in Holmby Hills, along with his sons, where while there, Diddy FaceTime Cassie and says, yo, you gotta go up and put more makeup on. My son can't see you like that. She did put makeup on, per his demand. She felt that she had no choice but to obey her abuser, even though security guard assistants and friends saw the situation she was in and no one dared to speak or help up. She therefore had no choice but to remain subservient. Later in 2015, while she was shooting a movie in Cape Town, South Africa, Cassie began a flirtatious relationship with an actor. Oh, okay, somebody gonna get killed again. Yo, this is a great movie right here. Diddy clapping anybody who even flirt with this bitch. She spent New Year's Eve with the actor. Okay, this actor finna die next chapter. I could tell. But Mr. Combs soon found out. He called the actor and threatened him. The actor proceeded to call Cassie and tell her, "You really need to call Diddy." Okay. In or around 2016, during a freak off. Damn, they still doing freak offs in 2016? Doing a freak off at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched her in the face, giving her a black eye. After he fell asleep, she tried to leave the room, but as she exited, Combs woke up and began screaming at her. He followed her into the hallway while yelling at her, grabbed her, then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing the glass to crash around her, and she ran to the elevator to escape. She managed to get to the elevator, and when she got to the lobby, quickly took a cab to her apartment. Upon realizing that her running away could cause Mr. Combs to be even more angrier with her and completely stuck in a cycle of vicious abuse, she returned to the hotel with intents of apologizing for running away from her abuser. When she returned, the hotel security staff urged her to get back in the cab and go back to her apartment, suggesting they had seen the security footage showing Mr. Combs beating her up and throwing glass at her in the hallway. Upon information and belief, Combs paid the Intercontinental $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. After this, She left her home in Comstock and went to hide away at a friend's home in Florida. James Cruz, the president of Bad Boy Management, tracked her down and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Diddy's calls. A woman who worked for Sony Music reached out to her with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. Incredibly, Diddy had even convinced his attorneys to call her at the time and say it's your best interest to call Diddy back. Each time she tried to run away, Diddy and his powerful network would force her back to him. Her tight hold over his life, his tight hold over her life, had irreparably damaged her friendships. Around 2018, when she was with her friend Carrie Morgan, Diddy used his key to the house and came in unannounced. He and Miss Morgan had an altercation, during which Combs threw a hanger at Miss Morgan. Upon information and belief, the incident resulted in a settlement between Combs and Miss Morgan. Miss Ventura ended up paying Miss Morgan additional funds in an attempt to resolve the dispute between her and her close friend and the abusive and controlling boyfriend. The relationship between Miss Ventura and Miss Morgan had been strained since this time. Seeing the extreme measures that Diddy took to keep a tight hold on Cassie and isolate her from her support network, and having experienced repercussions of rejecting his demands, she felt she could not say no to him, because she feared it would cost her something more: her family, her friends, her career, maybe her life. Now, this is where the sexual assault allegedly happened. By 2017 and 2018, she had become desperate to leave him and his abuse. She recognized if she stayed with him, she would never be able to have a successful career or ever be physically or mentally safe. She therefore became determined to completely break away from Diddy and his cycle of abuse and made efforts to avoid him. In 2018, she joined Diddy at a dinner at an Italian restaurant in Malibu, California, for what she believed would be a discussion about concluding the relationship for good. After dinner, Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura returned to Miss Ventura's home, which was paid for by Combs. Mr. Combs forced himself into her apartment and tried to kiss her. She told him to stop, attempting to push him away. She forcibly pulled off her clothing and unbuckled his belt and began to sexually assault her, while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Soon thereafter, she took steps to separate herself from her longtime abuser, including by leaving the home that he paid for and returning the car that he purchased for her. Despite moving away, Cassie's address was posted online in early 2019, leading to fears for her safety. She was under immense duress during the months after Diddy raped her, and took all the steps to entirely remove herself from her abuser's orbit, including by entering into contracts to end her record deal with Bad Boy Entertainment. As a result of blah, blah, okay. So she's been doing a lot of psychological stress. She takes into rehab. Okay. All right. That's pretty much the crux of all that type of stuff, like the meat and potatoes. So she's claiming she's sex trafficked. So by the way, that alleged incident that she's calling rape, that happened in LA. That didn't happen in New York. But I could still imagine, let's say if this New York police department investigation into Diddy that says it might be surrounding sexual assault, let's say it has to do with Cassie, even though she didn't refer to these freak-offs as rape, she's still saying that she felt forced. And, forced sexual activity would be something that would be investigated. And also she's claiming sex trafficking and a lot of things that kind of reminds you of on some, not Harvey Weinstein, what's that name? Jeffrey Epstein type shit. You know what I mean? All right. Let me see if we can see the amount of money. It should say no money or unspecified right now. Okay. The above blah blah is not limited to his repeat physical and sexual assaults of the plaintiff in New York City. It constitutes a crime of violence. Okay, it's a lot about New York City. Okay. Trying to see the money. Prayer for relief. Okay, here we go. Whereof plaintiff prays for a judgment to be entered in her favor against the defendants, and each of them as follows. For monetary judgment, representing compensatory damages, including consequential damages, lost wages, earnings, and all the sum of monies together with the interest of on these amounts, according to proof. For a money judgment for mental pain and anguish and severe emotional distress, according to proof. For punitive and exemplary damages, for attorney fees and costs, for prejudgment and post-judgment interest, and for such other further relief as the court may deem as just and proper. These are lawyers. Diddy, I ain't gonna lie, man. I think you fucked up, brother. I think Diddy had settled the Chef lawsuit. Let's see. Diddy Chef lawsuit settled. I think he settled. Yeah. So he had settled this one. I don't know how much he settled for. Is there a money amount? Yeah, no terms was divulged. But he settled that. I would imagine that he would look to settle now with Cassie. It'd probably be a big lump sum. Shit. Y'all let me know. Diddy's a billionaire. She wanted $30 million from him before this even came out. He clearly wasn't willing to give the $30 million, but according to his lawyers, or her lawyers actually, he offered 8 digits, which is at least 10. So if he was going to give her 30, but he offered at least 10, let's say it's between 10 and 20. If you offer that before this came out, do you just give her the $30 million now? Or do you say, nah, you fucked up. You made this shit public, and regardless if I pay you or not, people gonna look at me a certain way. Let me fight this shit out. I'm gonna use that $30 million to beat you in court, and that $30 million is going to be the thing that's gonna make you look stupid. Somebody says, well, you gotta be at least 50 now. Well, if I'm Diddy, I wouldn't pay you more now. You already made the allegations. The only way I pay you even 30, you got to come out and say, I lied. Okay, you got, all right, get the 30, just come out and you're going to be forever known as a liar, but at least you got your $30 million. You good. Somebody say Diddy's done. Let me give my take on this whole thing. People saying Diddy's done, whatever the case is. This is going to go for like 2 to 3 weeks and it's going to disappear. It's like the whole T.I. and Tiny thing. Sometimes these allegations, they're serious allegations. I'm not going to say they're not true. I don't know if they're true. But if you think this is going to kill Diddy's career, like, no. Like, what the fuck? No. You get what I mean? This will be forgotten in a couple of weeks. Secondly, what's probably going to most likely happen is that, I don't care what y'all think, like, unless there's actually a criminal charge that comes out of this, you're not beating Diddy in a fucking civil case. I'm sorry. It's impossible. Like, I'm telling you, these lawyers that she got ain't beating Diddy. Diddy's going to get the best of the best lawyers. And here's the thing about that, too. When you're Diddy and you have all the money, and let's go off the allegations that Cassie's claiming, that him and his network of powerful people who are all sticking up for him, everybody you're mentioning here is going to back Diddy up. Why? Because they're still getting paid by Diddy, or Diddy going to pay them on the side. So again, like, how do you think, like, again, this is still relatively he said, she said. Could they go back to that hotel and get the videotape? No. Maybe they could go back and find somebody who worked there that would testify. But at this point, Diddy got the money to kind of cross his T's and dot his I's. This is a civil case, not criminal. It's a civil case. Nobody's compelled to testify. Nobody could be really forced to testify. Diddy has all the people gonna say she's lying or she was just a fucking, delinquent. I'm gonna be honest. Somebody said a cancer mob. No. Let me tell you this. This is how stupid the hoes on the Shade Room are. All Diddy gonna do is like buy like Young Miami a house in the next like 3 days, and they're gonna feel, oh my God, we need a man like Diddy. Goals. Diddy know how to play this fucking game. Somebody said they taking all his music and Ciroc off the shelf. No, not at all. Here's the difference between him and a lot of these other people you're seeing, like the R. Kellys. Well, first of all, R. Kelly, he got a federal charge, right? And there was multiple complaints, and his shit is just way more egregious. Diddy has put money in the pockets, and this is what I'm talking about, high-level Illuminati power. He's every executive, like it's like Diddy and Jay. All of the black faces in music are going to be coming from one of those trees. Diddy's put people on. A lot of these guys, he's put millions in their pockets. Who's going to go against Diddy? Just think about it. Who's going to go against Diddy? Somebody said you thought Diddy lost his Ciroc deal. Well, Diddy losing a Ciroc deal didn't necessarily have to do with this behavior. This had to do with Diddy complaining and wanting more. Remember, they said they paid Diddy out $1 billion. That's how we know he's gotten $1 billion in his lifetime. Ciroc came out and said, we paid this nigga $1 billion. Somebody said Kid Cudi's is gonna speak up. Well, Kid Cudi's rep said, yes, my car was blown up. But how does that connect to Diddy? It's like the Tupac situation all over again. Yeah, it's like he said, she said. Okay, maybe it's a fact that your car blew up. How do we know that Diddy blew your car up? How do we know that? So it makes good for a great story time, but it's probably going to be even more difficult to prove in a criminal court. And I just think in a civil court, I think Diddy has the best lawyers that are known to man. He's going to drag this case out, and he's going to do everything possible that there is not a judgment that comes down against him that would make him look guilty in the slightest of bit. Somebody says, Ak, whose side are you on? It's not about whose side I'm on because I don't know the truth, but I do know money. And when it comes to these cases, the truth don't matter, my nigga. It don't matter. Like, you're naive. If you're coming into this like, oh, we're going to get justice, you're a fucking idiot. Like, this is a civil fucking case, brother. This is the exact place you pay niggas off. Like, you don't think Diddy's going to pay niggas off? Like, come on, use your fucking brain. Nothing's going to happen. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. If Diddy was doing all that shit back then to keep the shit quiet, you think he ain't about to like have 1,500 people walk in court and say some crazy shit about, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, between 2006 and 2007, yeah, we had to go check. She was addicted to certain so-and-so substance. We had to get her stomach pumped. We had to go check her into some institution. Yeah, she was actually, yeah, bro, like, what do you think? They're gonna be like, oh my God, you got us? The only thing that's going to come out of this is what we already know. Diddy is a freak boy who loves some really odd freak shit, and he might be gay. We don't, like, that's the same thing we've been knowing for 20 years. Do you get what I'm saying? Put it like this. I knew this shit was coming down because right around the Tupac thing happening, his company, which I've done business with, and I'm open about who I've done business with, his company hit me with the request and they said, hey, listen, Diddy's going through a lot. And it was something where Diddy had like, he threw up the middle finger at a cop. And it was just like, Diddy's going through a lot right now. And this is not the thing that needs to be out there that is going to make Diddy look weird. No, like it would mess up a lot of other legal matters that he has going on. And I think they may have even offered to like, you know, compensate me or whatever, like just to even take it down. But I was just like, okay, but I'll just take it out. No, it don't matter. It was like, to me, it was a funny clip. It wasn't like nothing serious. To them, it was like, yo. So I think they knew this shit was coming. Like his circle of people knew this was coming. Payoffs has been happening. NDAs have been re-signed. Extra hush money has been redoled out. All these, like, haven't you seen, like, in the last whatever, Diddy's donating to this, a lot of things happening randomly. I think he been knew this day is coming, and I think he's fully prepared. So, again, when we're evaluating this, if we want to have a conversation just outside of the courtroom, or we just want to have the social conversation. Do we think Diddy did it? Yeah, like all that freak off shit, I believe. Yeah, okay. Now let's get past that freak off shit. Do I believe that she's gonna win $30 million from him in court? No. Fuck no. Hell no. Let me see what else they're saying. Let me get on the shade room. You know, the shade room. The shade room chicks is so fake. You know, they were praising Diddy the other day. Now they about to go kick this nigga back in. Carisha gonna say, well, he ain't do nothing to me, so I'm sticking by my man. There's so many jokes to be made, but I won't even make those jokes because it would look horrible if I make a joke right now about Carisha and then she comes out in 4 years with the same story. Even though she's a city girl, I can't imagine she like doing all this shit, but you never know. Somebody said I knew Diddy was a sick man when he told him people to walk 3 hours to get him a slice of cheesecake. Somebody said I know Tupac doing backflips in Cuba right now. Somebody said, yo, he broke Kim Porter's nose. She covered it by saying she hit it on the table. Jaguar Wright accused him of abuse. Let's see what Jaguar Wright says. Plug her in. Jaguar Wright. Diddy. Why is there a whole thing called... Let me see.
You and your little dog, too. And congratulations, Young Miami. Run as fast as Cassie did.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life, it ain't real life. Just ain't real. Real life street stars. Know what time it is.
That fucker. I'm sorry, I'm a little upset about it. Because Al B. Shore just came out of his coma, and I've been talking to Al, and we've been texting back and forth, and I'm just glad that he's alive to text.
Oh, wow. By the way, I realized I didn't even read any donations. Give me 1 second. Let me get... Where's the fucking donation now? Jiraiya, thank you for the 10. It says, yo, Act interview Fleece Johnson, a.k.a. the Booty Man. What? Okay, brother. Could I get the rest of them? All right, I'll try to find a donation. But anyway, let's watch this.
Definitely.
Yeah. But when you think about Kim, I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, Al B. Shore, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas, and then the next thing you know, you want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him? He must be the luckiest motherfucker, because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning is gone. Just him. I guess Al disappointed you. You know, I speak for a reason. When you see this bullshit ass motherfucking game fucking with people that you love, that you like, you know, it's too many coincidences.
Too many.
Fuck you, Honeycomb.
Oh. Stamp it.
We gonna get you and your little dog, too. And congratulations, Young Miami. Run as fast as Cassie did. Has anybody asked themselves about that shit?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are asking about what's going on with it. Yeah, a lot of people are looking at it as like that's the way the new relationship should work.
What, to get paid?
Yeah,
She was
basically.
getting $500K a month. She quit because he dropped her down.
Yeah, I think that's where they're at with it now.
No, but understand this. Think about this. And there are women in this room. Why would you quit? What the fuck is going on that $250,000 ain't enough?
Ladies?
Like, fuck the fact that he... I'm just saying, fuck the fact that he cut from 500 to 200. Who the fuck gives a shit? 200K? Who 250K? Who turning down 250K a month? What the fuck is going on in that relationship that 250K ain't enough?
Could see some things.
That ain't worth 250K. That's got to be some dark shit. Like, people are not understanding that girl quit 250K. 4 million every quarter. Well, I'm sorry, $1 million every quarter.
Shit.
Now, she was getting 2 million a quarter, but then she got, you know, fuck you got going on. That's so deep that it ain't worth $1 million a quarter.
They told a story about Cassie one time, and she was saying someone had asked her why she cut her hair, and she was like, well, Diddy said he just liked it that way. And they said when she answered the question, it was like she was in a trance. Like, she was just like, I just don't know. Diddy just said he would like my hair this way. And they was like so in awe, like how she didn't even have a thought about it. It was just what he wanted.
That's how he operates. He has people followed. He has people watched. He does all kinds of fucking, he's a fucking piece of shit.
Too much money.
I feel bad for the kids. Like, don't think that there aren't moments when I'm...
Yo, Diddy, I'm bowing out the beef, brother. White flag, okay? You the second person I'm bowing out the beef to. Actually, fuck I'm not saying bowing because I'm not into that bati monty. Hey, I quit. You win, Diddy. Okay? I quit. Diddy might have somebody outside my crib now. I don't know what's going on. Diddy, I quit. You got it. I'm going to leave you and your side chick alone and your little gay friend. I'm going to leave all y'all alone. That's it. I quit. Waving the white flag. I need some white to wave. I'm waving it. It's imaginary. Okay? This shit is spooking me out now.
speaking honestly about that motherfucker that I pray that his children don't hear it. Because that's still their dad. I know what it's like to have a baby with a fucked up ass motherfucker. As much as I can't stand my ex-husband, I would never want my son to feel bad about either one of us being his parent. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. I would never want that.
Exactly.
But their father is the fucking devil.
Mm.
He the fucking devil.
Hold that thought. Why do you think T.D. Jakes was at Puff Daddy's birthday party?
Okay. Now, let's go to Aubrey O'Day, the woman who was the lead singer in Danny.
Thing you could imagine why somebody would want to fire.
Danny Kane, right? Or what group was she in? I don't know. Yeah, Danny Kane.
Somebody.
Can you give us a little?
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
And were other girls doing?
I was the only one that was in those types of positions.
Wow. When you look back on that, how does that make you feel?
You know, I have such a love-hate with it all because I don't think I would have been able to be so successful in so many other areas had I not been trained under Diddy. And me as somebody that's a girl's girl, I hit everyone in my group and said, absolutely do not take this deal. I can get us a show on Hulu right now and talking about boy bands and girl bands, because you have to realize there's a handful, 2 handfuls at most, of boy and girl bands that had platinum albums, 2 platinum albums. Yeah. And that will never happen again. Music nowadays is run by TikTok, and you can maybe get a song to chart well. Albums aren't being made anymore. There aren't conceptual albums like Christina was doing, like Justin was doing. Those don't sell. It's a singles market game, and it's a gimmick game at best.
If you were to sign that NDA, would then that prohibit you from taking a deal where it's like you get a show about the
I would
past?
never be able to do. I would like to do a documentary for Hulu or Netflix or Amazon, a streaming site on boy.
Fuck around and find out. That's what Diddy would say. Huh. You want to do what? A documentary? You want to do a tell-all? Fuck around and find out. You be swimming with the fishes.
Boy band and girl bands. I have a bunch of members from a lot of very boy bands that fit the criteria of a certain amount of status. Yeah. Platinum albums, awards, etc., Grammys. Same with girls. The stories that we have to tell during a time in music where there were gatekeepers, there were people that owned labels like Puff running things, and the way that the divisions and the divisiveness occurred, and the things that we experienced between each other and us against the system are fucking insane. And most people that have had to go through those types of things, like the real ways the Kardashians got to where they got, Ray J tried exposing a lot of that, they're still acting like that Ray J didn't expose them and that their Hulu show is all real. They don't have to really even notice Ray J because he doesn't come close to them. But what Ray J said was the truth, and he proved it with facts. So at the end of the day, we're all just willing to turn a blind eye. Diddy is just literally known as the guy that doesn't pay his artists. And it's funny, and then you move on and you like something that he did on TikTok because he's funny. But for people that worked for 6 years of their life and entered an industry where somebody made, what, $48 million? $50 million? And we didn't even see a penny of that. And we were in thongs and 5-inch heels for years of our lives on stage. And not any of it did we see. And the measly amount of change that MTV paid us, we don't even get to feel any benefit of that because they never brought the show back. And they don't play it in reruns. So we can't even get the hype of, oh, hey, I remember this. They're cult classics. Let me hire her for something. Yeah. Like all of them got, right? Mm-hmm. Jersey Shore kids are making millions of dollars. We were talented kids plucked out of oblivion, and we all had a fucking dream to be.
Damn. Yo, she throwing a party today. She throwing a party today.
At Madison Square Garden and perform, which we got to. And we were not expected to get there. And we're all incredibly talented, every single one of us. So to me, when I read this, I'm basically feeling like you're presenting yourself as the benevolent God that's giving everybody back their music. You've turned down millions of dollars to give the millions back to the people. This is the honest to God. You can read from our attorney.
Yeah.
This is the honest to God agreement of what I'm being offered. A few $100s to sign away my rights to ever tell the story of what I went through again. And there's not going to be an era of girl and guy groups like that ever again with the way that music has transitioned, and I don't know if it will go back ever again to anything that's credible.
Yeah, I don't really see it.
And there's a story there, and Hulu tells those stories, and streaming, Netflix tells.
My boy Diddy, man. Popped up at the Breakfast Club.
They call a full circle. So I went back into like Puffy.
We
need to talk about the album.
I don't know, man. I don't know. What y'all think about this shit, man? I believe all that freaky shit. I guess I'm trying to think like, yo, is Diddy really one of them guys who's just like the type to blow up a nigga car? Did that ever make the news? Have we even seen Cassie talk? She speaks English, right? Oh, what the fuck?
I'm trying to keep it together.
You're a brave woman.
Thank you. I try.
Who are you wearing?
I'm wearing Stello.
Gorgeous. Now you're going to sit down, watch the movie. Your boyfriend's sitting next to you, and you and Terrence are.
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
It's work.
Interesting. That's like some voyeurism shit. If Diddy used to love watching other niggas fuck her.
It feels, obviously there's a little bit of anxiety with that, but Terrence is a good friend of mine, and, Puff has been so understanding with everything, so it's good.
So do you believe in love at first sight?
I do.
Was it love at first sight with your boyfriend?
It was a long time ago.
What makes you guys work?
Well, I think what makes any relationship work, if it is working, is, just not talking about it too much and just keeping it close to your heart.
Diddy is once again on TikTok. Some women posted a throwback video of themselves playing around on Diddy's giant bed when Jay Versace dropped the bombshell. He accused Diddy of bending him over that same bed during a party at Diddy's mansion in Los Angeles. That is some serious accusation. Jay Versace is a 25-year-old American social media star who became famous about 5 years ago as the funniest teenager on the internet because of how well he entertains his audience on TikTok. However, it was not strange for Jay to be involved with men, as he has publicly announced his homosexuality in 2016. In his words, "I was in the shower actually, and I thought, you know what? After I finish this shower, I'm going to come out. It was quite random. I text my mom a long paragraph, and that was it. Ever since then, I was free." Could this be why Diddy targeted him? Because he was an easy target, as he was already gay? Surprisingly, Jay didn't have a gay model as a child and had in fact been raised in a Christian family, as his family owned a church. But he seemed to have figured his life out and didn't give a care to what the public or his family thought about him. In an interview with Gay Times, he said, "I've been looking up to myself lately. I want to be free of sexuality and not boxed in as a guy who's gay. I don't want to be known as the gay guy, but also I want to be an ambassador for gay people. I never want to be labeled as the gay actor. I just want to be me." And when he was asked if his upbringing had anything to do with his decision, he said, "Being that I live in a Black Christian family, I knew it was going to be hard. I don't necessarily blame my family for not understanding it. It's how they grew up, and they're just acting as a product of how they were brought up." Interestingly, Jay had never mentioned what happened with Diddy until he saw the throwback video posted by the women. Was he triggered by the video? Or has he just had enough? Anyway, besides Jay, there's a long list of celebrities who had a crazy encounter with Diddy, and one of them is Exhibit, who revealed that sometime back, Diddy had invited him and Kareem Superhead Steffens to a New Year party in Miami, and he saw what he never imagined he'd see. In an interview with Sirius Satellite's Foxhole Radio, he said that Diddy had called him out of the party to talk and warned him about Superhead, the girl he, Exhibit, was with. He called her a devil and said that she would likely expose his kinky secrets.
Puffy calls me outside. He's like, "Hey man, you know that girl you know about the girl you." I was like, "Yeah, nigga, everybody know, but you know what I'm saying? What's happening?" You know, so he's like, that's the devil."
Exhibit still didn't understand what Diddy was talking about, so he confronted Superhead about it. But she laughed and said that she'd explain what happened later. What exactly did Superhead see that made Diddy so cautious? Soon after, Diddy invited Exhibit, Superhead, and other members of his crew to a club. When they got to the club, they entered through the back door and got to the VIP lounge, which was empty. Diddy left them to do his business, and that's when the real event started. He and Superhead sighted two men kissing passionately and
the party.
Another one dancing butt naked.
It's two dudes kissing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, another direction, it's another dude over there like butt-ass naked dancing.
Perplexed, he left without saying a word to Diddy or even bidding him goodbye. In his words, "We take off. We leave the club directly. I didn't say peace to nobody. It was suspect. You can chalk it up to being in Miami or whatever, but I've been in a gang of clubs, and I ain't never mistakenly stepped into a club with that kind of activity." Why does Diddy attend such parties? And from X's story, it seems the party isn't a regular party we all know of. Speaking of parties, Usher also shared the experience he had while he was a teenager. At 13, he was handed over to Diddy, who was supposed to be teaching him all he needed to survive in the rap industry. But Diddy didn't only teach him stuff he needed to know, he also taught and exposed him to stuff he wasn't supposed to know at his age.
I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Even Diddy revealed that he and Usher used to sleep together when he was a teen, but Usher used to wake up earlier. Even though he referred to Usher as his brother, fans think it was just a cover-up.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, that's how. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world.
But Usher is only one of the male celebrities that have caught Diddy's fancy. He has also tried to put his charm on 50 Cent, but failed. In an interview, 50 Cent revealed that Diddy had once asked him to take him shopping. According to him, that offer seemed awkward coming from a guy, and he ended up referring to Diddy as a fruit pop.
So when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out, nigga, we gotta kick it. This is possible. Okay. You're telling me we gotta kick it and shit, and he's like, yo, why don't we go shopping or some shit? I pay for it. And I was like, this just sound I got the away from him because I was like, this nigga just tell me he'd take me shopping. And this goes on. But there's a little fruit pop. It's a fruit pop. It's a fruit pop, trust me. You see these little weird like that out there, sitting out there for no reason. You don't see accident be like kissing. Like that doesn't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look, later you gonna find out a little I'll be saying.
But when Diddy was asked about it, he had confirmed that he offered to take 50 shopping, but he had only done it because he thought.
All right, man. Diddy, I don't know what's going on with you, gang, but hey, here's my thing. I know y'all don't like hearing this. This industry will always protect the greatest and the most powerful men. And Diddy is the greatest and the most powerful guy. He's one of there's a couple others, but he's at that level. If you think that this lawsuit, this civil suit, these accusations are going to end him, there's been weirder accusations or stories about Diddy. So, yes, it'll go viral for a day or two that he loves to watch people fuck his girl. But will they actually take some of these claims of abuse and other sexual impropriety, and will that end him? I think not. Okay? He's going to fight this lawsuit. Put it like this. I think he's going to spend a nice $5 to $8 million, and I think he's going to be successful. Or perhaps he comes out of this maybe paying some money, but definitely not the 30 that Cassie was wanting. Will people not fuck with him? No. Will advertisers pull out of his network, revolt? Maybe initially, but I don't even think this is going to catch the steam. And again, I'm telling you, it's only because it's Diddy. It's Diddy. Diddy, this industry is about who, every little thing with me, if I bump my toe, they'll be like, yo, a nigga just tripped Ack and beat his ass, right? What I've realized about this industry, and I want to become a little bit more like this, not on some Diddy shit, pause, but it's like the people who are protected, because a lot of niggas do fuck shit, but not everybody gets exposed. And a lot of niggas do fuck shit and get exposed, but nothing happens. You know why nothing happens? Because they've spent their time in this industry almost setting safeguards in place that nothing could happen to them. The people with the loudest voices, they put in power. The people who could make moves happen, they have given opportunities. It's favors for favors. That's what works. So the people who Diddy's helped along the way, the people who Diddy's put millions of dollars in their pocket, the people who Diddy, who has just so much power and reach, you think they're going to come speak out against Diddy? For Cassie? You're wrong if you think that. You're wrong. Watch how everybody besides me handles this story. They're going to be like, oh, let's wait. None of them are going to tell any personal stories. And all of these motherfuckers have a personal story about Diddy. Because you know why? I remember the first time when I got on Everyday Struggle, the first 5 guests, back in the green room, everybody had a Diddy story. And I was like, what the fuck? I said, how is this openly known, but nobody says it on air? Well. So, again, I'm telling you, what y'all are thinking is some new shit that's going to end them. I don't think that'll happen at all. Okay? Let's see how the Breakfast Club handles this. Because the Breakfast Club was very quick to say, Ack, or I think, what's that little hole in their name? Say, Ack hates women. Did he like women according to this story? Or can't y'all say that? Oh, y'all want Brother Love to give you an interview. Y'all ain't gonna call a spade, would y'all? Oh, y'all probably wouldn't. But I'm gonna listen to more. I'm gonna see if let's see if y'all have the balls to say this is a fucking creep. This is a nasty nigga who we've heard for years and decades. A nigga who's at 40 dating a 19-year-old. But this is what's wrong with hip hop. You have niggas who act like they're up on a soapbox, but they're only down to call out certain people. R. Kelly, bad. But we gonna talk about potentially Jay and him dating minors, or never mind, we can't talk about that one, right? We love Jay, we cool. Again, they don't call a spade in this shit. They call out the people that they can't use. They call out the people that didn't help them. They don't call a spade a spade. So when y'all thinking that Diddy's about it, like, no. I'm telling you, Diddy was preparing for this day for a long time. Y'all gonna see, it's not gonna be pretty, but you're gonna see as good as a defense squad and a good as a crisis management as you'll ever see with this Diddy thing. Put it like this. If Diddy's this person that Cassie's talking about, shouldn't there be hundreds of other people with the same story? Shouldn't there be a lot of people who could testify to his character, to his creepiness, to his weirdness? Will any of them come out? Will any of them come out that hasn't been already labeled as disgruntled, the Gene Deals, the Jaguar Whites? Will any of them who used to date him say something? Will J-Lo come pop out and say something? J-Lo, you dated him for a while. Will the closest people who are still in good graces with him, near to Kim Porter, will they say something? Probably not. So as y'all sit back and y'all say, oh, this is it for him. This is it for who? This is going to be another little pit stop, speed bump in the life of Diddy. Wasn't it 2-3 weeks ago we were all Caught up like everybody had their panties up in a bunch thinking he was about to get arrested for Pac's murder. How soon we forget, right? That seems like a distant memory. Big Dan says they're just coming out. It's just began. Well, I think that's what the police is going to try to encourage people to come out. I know y'all saying I'm chatting, but what I'm saying is that if you look at Diddy's life, Cassie's really at the tail end of a lot of shit that he's been accused of. Okay. All right, people. So I said J-Lo lips are sealed. We will see. We will see. Yeah, for the people on YouTube, we did listen to Drake's album. Oh, by the way, here's some donations. We got them back. Fine, thank you. Zuri Fraser, thank you for the $5 donation. They said Drake was 100% shooting at Joe on stories about my brother. Curry 2S, thank you for the 2. He says, yo, nobody made it in the chat. Thank you. Nobody, thank you. There's somebody named Nobody. Thank you for the 5. He says, Diddy made the Illuminati mad when he tried to get the black community to stop buying from the liquor companies. That's interesting. Ugly Money TV, I love their content, by the way. Thank you for the 12. It's your act. Be careful. I think Diddy's in the chat. Shit, you never know. Mr. Cam, thank you for the 5. It says, yo, Winter from BGC, who dated Diddy's son Justin, had a weirdly similar story. Right? Okay, I'll play it. So you should play that. Okay, I'll play it. Journey to Taj, thank you for the 5. Cassie's lawyer is the same one who took. Ooh, really? Journey to Taj. That's interesting. You're saying Cassie's lawyer is the same one who took Harvey Weinstein down? It's a Cassie likely has someone more powerful than Diddy backing her. Oh, wow. A story to tell. Thank you for the 10. Said Mace mentioned that NDA today on It Is What It Is. 11-minute mark. Okay, I'm going to go watch that as well. Cult of Masculinity, thank you. He says, yo, are you going to cover the TD backdoor? We want to know the full breakdown with the bottle of Henny in the hand. Town Rumor, thank you for the 5. He says, old washed up women are mad and broke. So I'm guessing you think that they're just lying, right? Yo, Counselor Lars, thank you for the 5. He said, yo, it's a freak off Rico. The freak off Rico, that's crazy. Sandman X, he says, look up YK Osiris and Diddy, Jamaica, Breakfast Club. Family First Vest, thank you for the 10. It says, yo, not for Cassie, but what about for the FBI? Don't you read that an ongoing FBI investigation early in the article? It's not FBI, first of all. It says the investigation is originating out of New York City Police Department, NYPD. Again, here's the thing about all of those things. These things have happened so long ago. It's really incredibly hard to prosecute any type of sexual assault on he said, she said. You know, I think human trafficking and sex trafficking becomes easier, right? And that would probably be some shit that I think maybe federally they could kind of fuck with, because, you know, at least Cassie's claiming that she was being ran through in all these hotels. So that'll be one of those things. All right, cool. I'll touch on this real quick because I see some people are inquiring about it. Let's see, where is it at? So,